Hi, this is Jason at Primal Engineering. I'm going to show you how to install our basic gripper onto the Gobbit chassis. So we have a prior video that shows how to assemble the gripper itself, but for this we're going to use the gripper. We have the Gobbit chassis, a 4 AA cell battery pack with switch with a little patch of Velcro to stick it on. This battery pack has a custom plug on it with a 3-pin connector. We have the positive, we have the ground, and then we have a second ground. I also need the in panel that matches the Gobbit and a couple of 5/8 by number 6 screws that came with the panel. We'll also need 4 male-to-male jumpers. So we'll start with putting the in panel on the gripper. The gripper can be mounted in 3 different positions. To show you with this one, if we mount the gripper, they just go in these 2 holes here. We can either mount it like this, which gives a low grip like what we have here, or you can turn it high, give a high grip. The other position is if you spin this around and put it back in there, then it's a mid grip. So you have, the middle position. So but you have to have the servo then to the top. So depending on how you want to use your kit, you need to choose where to set that. So say if you're moving a low gravity item, low center of gravity, there's not much, you need a low grip. If you're doing something maybe tall like this, maybe the low will work, but maybe you need to have it in the high position. So you just have to determine that for your application. Okay, so the first thing is to put the in panel on. I'm going to stick with what we had there. I'm going to do the position where we can have either a low or a high. That seems to be the most flexible. So I just put the 2 screws and the holes in the back here. The gripper itself does not have any, it's not pre-drilled, but it doesn't take much to just push these guys right in. Just keep your fingers clear. You'll need a number 1 Phillips screwdriver. And I'm just going to lightly push as I'm turning, and it just gets going right in there. No problem. Just get it snug. You don't have to crush it because it will, just a little tightening, it'll pull it down below the surface. So this is a rigid expanded foam. It's a rigid PVC rigid expanded foam. It's very much like working with wood, but it's plastic, so it has a lot of the benefits of plastic. So here we go. So let's attach this to another kit we have here that does not have the gripper on it. This particular one has a customized top plate, which we can do for batch orders. You can see the standard has different hole pattern for just standard wire routing. So this one is set up as a line follower. Has a line following sensor underneath, and it's already wired up with the arduino clone, and this one has an Adafruit motor shield in it. So first thing to do is to pop out the existing panel. Go ahead and send your wire for your servo through the hole in the top here. Now I'm going to just, it's easier to leave this together until the in panel is on. So I'm just going to slide the wire down through the opening here underneath the motors. Okay, it's coming out the other end. If it doesn't come out, it gets caught up in there, that's fine. We're going to pop it open in a second to wire it up. This is the easy way to get it in there. Just set it in place on the tabs, push it down, it snaps in place. There we go. That's the mechanical side of it. I would take the battery pack. A simple place to put this guy is just on top here. So I'm going to take my Velcro, fold it over. Actually, I like I like the coarse side to be on the robot. I just keep it consistent with all my battery packs so I can swap them out. So I'm putting the smooth side on the back here. Don't cover up the screw, which I've already got batteries in here, but don't cover up the screw so you can actually open this thing up again. Stick it on there, peel it. I'm gonna make sure it looks like it's sort of in the middle. I kind of like my stuff somewhat aligned. Okay, I'm just gonna run this through here, run the wire through here, and pull it through the other side. Okay, let's flip this over and wire it up. It's easier to do this from the bottom. This also, the gripper, if you open it up, it'll make this rest a little bit better. So carefully open it using wires pulled. Set that down, and we're going to connect the power from the battery pack to the servo. So I want the red on the battery to go to the red on the servo, the black on the servo to go to the black on the battery. So the color of your jumpers doesn't really matter. Okay, red to red. Black to black. And now the other wire from here, the other ground wire, it needs to go to the Arduino ground. So that is down here. That's a reference ground. And then the yellow from the servo, the yellow is the signal line. It needs to go to one of your outputs on the Arduino. In this case, I'm just going to use A0, which is down here, A0. If you can see where I just connected the A0, the yellow line in there. Okay. Now that is wired up. I'm just going to pack my wires in here. Hopefully I didn't make too much of a mess. Actually, I'm going to disconnect this and feed it. Well, keep them in position. I'm going to feed this line underneath my big bundle there. Got to pay attention when you do this where wires will work out best. Just pack it in there, but I got to make sure this will slide out when I go to program. That'll work. Okay. And I have a plug on my battery pack. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I'll carefully put this back on. Make sure all my wires go inside. The more wires you get in there, then you might want to start, you get too many things in there, you might want to start growing and putting some components on top, further in the back, or putting expansion decks on here, stack it up. And so now this is wired and ready for programming. If we turn this on, it should twitch the servo. Yep, it just moved a little bit. Okay. All right. Next step is programming it.